So I'm here today making a video about TERFs. They are trans exclusive radical feminism. They're an extremist group that views society as ruled by patriarchy. They seek to abolish gender. They view heteronormativity as reinforcing male dominance, and they see women as oppressed. Um, They have certain goals such as raising awareness of rape, violence against women, gender roles, and how they benefit men. They want equity in the equality in the private space, gender roles, where women have to do more of the domestic duties. They want to basically eliminate male privilege, but they exclude trans women as being viewed as as unequal to cis women. So that's not one thing I'm not cool with that. They have some shared goals with trans, even though they don't probably think so. They want a more level playing field for women, especially within institutions. More equity in the gender roles. I'm pretty sure trans is against that. They would also like to see a de-emphasis of heteronormativity. Pretty much is where a guy gets with a woman, and because they're in a hetero relationship, then the guy ends up dominating the relationship or using sex as a tool. So they believe that you get with the guy, and then he's gonna keep on perpetuating patriarchy in the relationship, based on that kind of view. So to them, they think that only women dating other women is the only way to escape that oppression. But this is where they're wrong, okay? And this is where the meat of the video is gonna go right here. So they are trying to narrowly define who can be considered a female, so they're excluding trans, and they don't, because they're missing organs, and whatever. But I think that that's just such a small-minded view of, if they want to take down inequality, within social institutions, and they view that, the powers that be, and they blame males for that. I feel like trans people are also are familiar with the discrimination brought by anyone in power, and I think that's kind of like, that's why it's kind of a narrow focus in a way, and I think that's where they're wrong, is because you have this concept where, like, well, all the men are bad. Well, there's also women who are tough on other women, doesn't, they're not, the master gender or whatever. It's like, I think that's another way where they're wrong. It's like they're taking on trans people, and they're not the ones who are perpetuating inequality in society. It is more of the moneyed class. Yes, it's controlled by males, but I don't necessarily think it's because they're born as males that cause them that way. The biology in of itself does not make them cause the inequality. I think it could end up being the other way around. If women were all of a sudden, thrust into power, I'm pretty sure, if these radical feminists were thrust into power, all of a sudden, they would probably try to, assert the same, inequality on men because of their gender. And then that you're getting into this whole thing where it's like, okay, you want equality for the genders, but then it's like there's mistreated men, and there's women in power who mistreat men as well. So it's like, I don't think that just because you switch someone's gender necessarily, like, if women all of a sudden, if there was a matriarchy, things would magically be better, because humans are humans, and I don't think that biology is the reason why. I think it's just that people in power who don't have enough accountability, and there's no mechanisms to counter that. All this divisiveness, that's what they thrive on. So yeah, it's just this narrow scope of equality, that only, born cis women deserve equality. It's like, what the hell? Like, that's kind of like nonsense in a way. I think everyone deserves equality. If there's someone being taken advantage of, that's, a minority, they deserve equality. If they are poor, they deserve equality. I think that, just saying, oh, okay, well, just only if you're women, then, I just think that that's just such a narrow scope of focus. They're making it seem like women are the issue when the issue, or men are the issue, when I think in fact it's more of a financial situation that causes, inequality to perpetuate. It's not like, being in a heteronormative relationship, that does not cause inequality in of itself. There's lesbian couples where one woman is, oppressing the other woman. It happens, all the time, or in a, woman in a heterosexual relationship taking advantage of a guy. So it's, and bullying him or whatever. So I don't think it's just, only women have, are being taken advantage of. I think that it's there. We have to stand up for everyone that is, being oppressed, not just one select group of people. Women can oppress other women. So yeah, that's really my big view on it. I don't think that being trans reinforces gender identity. I think it disassembles gender identity, because there's so many different permutations of trans people and their expression of what it is to be a male, to be female, to be non-binary. There's so many different, I think if anything, it shows people that, like, there's all kinds of different ways of living your life. And just because, you meet 10 different trans women, they will express gender in 10 different ways. So I think that, yeah, I don't think that they reinforce gender identity. I think if anything, it shows that, people are going to be different. And, if everyone got to express themselves the way they felt, then that would be awesome. There's no reason that just being, a trans, it does not, I think if you meet enough people in general, you'll see that the way people express themselves, again, has so much variance that you can't just say, well, let's stop these trans people from living their lives, because they'll never be women. Well, they experience a lot of the same issues, whether it's, simple as, clothing and makeup issues, all the way down to violence perpetuated against them. They understand that experience, and they have an additional layer on top of that experience, where it's like, they know what it's like, to be discriminated against, for being trans. So they definitely would be just natural allies in the fight to create more equality within the world. That's what I think.